Hi, this is me, Jackie. These are some of my ideas that I've gotten over the years, and I wrote them in a lot of different journals. Ideas. Ordering free tracts and putting them in places like bathroom stalls of where people may find them, or inside church invite cards. Church invite cards, you could just be like, if you're out and about somewhere, like at the store, you could be like, if you see somebody you want to invite to church, you could just ask them, are you Christian? Do you go to church? And if they say no, then you could just give them this little pre-written, you could get them like at the dollar store, they just are little invite cards. They say you're invited, and then you could write in the inside just a date and time of the church. Okay. Ideas. Making a better Dark Crystal, like that old 80s movie, the Dark Crystal movie. Well, I mean, it wasn't that great of a movie, but I kind of like the concept of the little elflings and stuff. Wouldn't that kind of make a fun video game? That's what I thought. So making a sequel showing fantasy, or making a sequel of it showing fantasy world of the good puppets more, and not only those villains as much, because the villains weren't as interesting, I didn't think. But ideas. Dark Crystal video game. Yeah, that's what I just said. Okay, let's see what else. I have so many ideas written in journals, just different things that I thought of would be cool if they were in the world, like different ideas. Business idea for self. Start family. Best rated E, more G rated video game store for me or anyone. Yeah, like I was gonna start like a video game lounge, like kind of like where you could just play video games right there, and maybe they have hostesses and that kind of, or you could just rent out rooms and like hang out with your friends there, and you could choose from this huge library of video games. Kind of like a video game rental store, but also where you're not renting them out, you're just like renting them right there to use right there. Okay. Can put evangelism tracks on movies. It's very good. Oh yeah, like if you give away stuff to the thrift store, you could just put a little evangelism track in one of the books or one of the DVDs that people can find. Those evangelism tracks, you could get them for free. You could order them online. Some places, some nonprofits offer them. These little tracts, they just tell people about Jesus, about to be Christian, to be happy forever. Like that's what they are. Okay, an idea. Start bank that takes in money and charges interest for protecting your money, and that doesn't charge for poor and drops debts every 7 years like Bible said to, and other service that costs money to wealthy to make up for being charitable to poor, so can afford to, or hope God repay, or so God can repay, or have it as extra business on side to count as more but profit other businesses to make money, so to pay for this charity. Like, I just thought there should be a charity for poor people to help them get loans so they don't have to pay interest. Like the Bible said not to charge interest to my people, to Christians, to maybe anybody. And of course nobody does that, but I mean, that'd be nice if there was a charitable organization that did offer loans or credit that you just pay back without interest, just for poor people. And I was thinking, the banks could even do it, but they'd have to maybe they could charge wealthier people a little bit more for some other service, like maybe putting the money in the bank or something, just for the wealthier people. I don't know if the poor people should be charge though, because they can't really afford things that much, but maybe just charge the wealthier people a little bit for some service to make up so that they could afford to be charitable to the poor and offer loans at no interest to just the poor people. You know, that just to compensate, they'd have to charge for something else in order so they could afford to do that maybe, but it'd be worth it because then God can repay for the charity that, you know, if, as a company, if you're offering charity in a way, you'd have to compensate by charging some other way, but it's better to charge wealthier people just a little more so you could afford to be charitable to the poor people instead of charging the poor people so much because they can't really repay you anyway, so you're still going to lose. And also, if you're charitable, then God will repay you. He'll have a reason to repay you for being kind to the poor. That's what the Bible says and promises. He promises to bless you so much more abundantly. So it's a very wise business concept, I think. Businesses kind of forget that concept, maybe. They're losing potential blessing of success in their business, but it's a good idea. Okay, ideas. For areas with homeless, more sent out to them from welfare shelter places with vans to pick them up and look for them and find and counsel them about jobs, and wealthy people or people hiring to help hire ask if want job and temporary places to stay, housing for new workers till first paycheck, instead of not hiring them just because no home or address, because elsewise they can't earn to afford a place and get stuck in this vicious circle. So okay, I'm just making sure it's recording. Okay, where's my pen? Okay, to market. Bodybuilder, clothing line. They should have bodybuilder clothing lines because some of us work out and we can't even find clothes that even fit us sometimes. I couldn't even find bras in my size. You know how, if you're still a skinny, or kind of a thin person in some places, but also really strong boned in others. I had trouble finding bras or different things, or shirts, just because my shoulders were getting really large and this part was getting really, the bone here was sticking out, and everything when I was working out a lot, so, and comfy because non-wise and not something like cotton, and not, and not that wire type because that's not comfortable, more comfy material, and not in material like cotton, and no pads because those get messed up and misshapen anyway, and idea. Blurry, see-through and white contact paper on bottom half windows for privacy for upper windows. Because I used to always feel self-conscious. I'd be having these windows without curtains. I don't know why I didn't get curtains, but anyway, it's really a one-star movie or something. I saw a one-star movie like that. Anyway, the woman really needed contact paper or something, for privacy on the lower part of the window if you're on the upper story, or at least that helps. Or just curtains, duh. I don't know. Ideas. Ask church or if they had 1,000 souls prayer added to their mass prayers. Yeah, this is an idea for churches. You should pray the 1,000 soul prayer. It is helping get 1,000 souls out of purgatory. Now, I know some people follow Lutherans. It's nonsense to pray for others that are stuck in between. But all the ghosts are proof that souls are stuck in between and need to be helped in their crossing over. And the 1,000 soul prayers was a prayer directly told from Jesus to this nun. He told her, if people pray that prayer, the 1,000 soul prayer, you could Google it, and if you pray that for people, it'll help 1,000 souls get out. And so, I think it's really the best prayer ever. and I just pray all the time. And so I recommend that if anybody likes to pray. And also for churches, they should really add that to their masses. At least the Catholic ones. The Catholic masses don't even have that prayer. It's such a great prayer and it goes to waste. It could totally be prayed at mass or at church, you know. Anybody that believes in helping ghosts, cross over. Okay, so many people into ghost stories and paranormal, and yet nobody hardly ever prays for them. I'm always reading ghost stories because I like to pray for ghosts. And so, yeah, that's unusual probably because for hundreds of years, everybody forgets to pray for them. I'm like the only one bored enough, having no life enough to actually have time to pray for them. I know everybody has a family, everybody has a life, but I don't. And I don't have a job, I don't have anything going. I'm like the only person with nothing going right. So I'm completely like blessed in that way. According to the ghosts are really happy that I have no life. So I have all this time. So I've helped probably refer so many souls for Jesus to help. It's so happy. And so I just recommend other people can be a part of that if they want to be. Okay, so make vocabulary learning game with cards where it can guess meaning. Card, same style maybe with where can turn over words and keep if guess right, and if not, stays down to turn over again till learned it. Like language card game. Yeah, you could make a really easy vocabulary learning game for kids or anybody learning any language, really. You could just have one word on one side of the card, and then on the other side, in the pronunciation, on the other side of the card, just have the pronunciation. I mean, not the meaning of the word. And then you could just play like a card game. You could see the word, pick a card and say, I think that means this, or I think it's pronounced this way. You could learn the meaning and the pronunciation that way. And whoever gets the most wins the most cards wins. And also you could play like a memory card game. You just put them on the table and pick cards. Try and guess different cards, either the pronunciation or the meaning of the word. And pretty soon you're learning words. I tried that. I made up that game before, and it kind of helped me learn different languages. I was trying to learn European languages because I thought I might move up there for just so I could peddle my artwork or do business, my social club there or something, or my Christian music video company in Europe or Asia or wherever else. I thought of Africa, just everywhere. I wanted to kind of start art galleries everywhere, and also I wanted to start like different businesses. Okay, ideas: multi-shot video game console that can play computer games without needing to buy the whole big computers to preserve from obscurity those games if worth doing, or for games best worth reissuing for it at least. Oh, multi-slot video game console that can play older computer games. And maybe them reissued onto cartridges, just so you can play on a easier little console like a Sega type style console instead. It'd be so much more fun, instead of setting up this big old computer. And sometimes those little floppy disks or those cassettes are kind of fragile. I think the cartridges are more stable. That'd be cool to reissue some of them on either a plug-and play or that way. Okay, what else? Ideas for the wrong voltage multi-carts that may be bad for system consoles, because has matching voltage to the console for the video games. Can someone fix the cart voltage somehow? So safe to use on consoles and won't short them out or whatever. Yeah, because I heard some multi-carts are bad for video game consoles, some of the multi-carts, if they're, and reproduction ones are too sometimes. They might be bad for your system because they have the wrong voltage, but I'm not really sure. But I heard maybe the Game Boy ones are safe, but maybe not the Nintendo or the whatever EverDrive or whatever. I'm just not sure, but I'm just saying right here, I wish companies would make them safer for the systems. and make sure to tell people that these are the right voltage and they're safe for the system. So at least you have an alternative, so you don't have to do the stuff that's unsafe for the system, if it is. Ideas. Minimum wage determined by earnings of company. Now, this is important. Now, people are doing higher minimum wage, but it's not good unless you do it according to the earning percentage of earnings of the company, okay? Because it might put all the business out of business if you don't do this wisely, this higher minimum wage thing. You got to do it according to what's reasonable for the company. Whatever percentage the company can afford reasonably to do without taking away from the product quality, without taking away from the company's reasonable amount of earnings, so they're be encouraged to want to stay in business, you know? That's a really important idea, and I don't know if they're doing it really. And if fair to something and to workers, and if they're fair to company and to workers, so both sides are okay with the percentage of pay. And maybe by if areas cheaper, high cost of living or not, or higher mid, all afford it, if won't expect quality products too. Bit too considered. I mean, wages should be considered. I mean, wages should be based on how much the company makes. The percentage of the company, however is reasonable to what it makes, right? Shouldn't it? I mean, so the small businesses won't be, like, persecutedly forced to go out. So the big companies won't just take over, you know? It's really more fair. Because people will still want to work probably at the lower paying jobs, because they have maybe the less stress and a nicer quality of, there's good things to it, to working at a small business. You might have less customers, less stress and things like that, it has a good atmosphere in different ways, and there's good things about it. Of course, there's better selection at sometimes the larger stores, so they both have good sides to them. So, and they might be more exciting, or there's different good sides to both type of businesses. So wages should be determined by how much the company makes, a percentage taken from based on how much the company makes, the wages are based on. So we have to remember to do that, because I shared my idea of it'd be nice if there were higher wages, but then I forgot that it might be bad for small businesses unless you base it on a reasonable amount based on how much the company makes. The idea works better that way if you take that into account, and also take into account if there's a lot of poor people in the area, or a lot of and if there's just different things. If there's a high cost of living, you have to do the wages kind of based on the area also. I mean, it has to be reasonable. So ideas: taking TV dinners out of plastic containers and put on plastic plates so won't leach into food, in case cardboard, unless it's cardboard ones, maybe are okay to leave it. See, that's like just a health idea I thought of. Just like little health tips, or like business ideas. I just get different ideas. I just journal a lot of things like that. Ideas. Movies or games by ratings, like on Netflix or etc. If they're organized like that, that would be an idea. Yeah, if movies were organized by like rating, that would be helpful. I mean, they kind of are, because like you put the kids movies in the kids section and the family movie. I mean, sometimes it's kind of organized like that. But ideas: reissuing some of older games and adding save feature if can. Maybe even adding new levels to old games, reissuing the old game, but adding new levels. Like Popeye for Nintendo. I mean, some of those games are kind of cool, but it'd be cooler if they added some new levels. Instead of only having 3 levels, it's almost not even worth it to collect some of those games. But it'd be cool if they were reissued, but added more levels to them. Like maybe the Atari ones too, like when they only have a couple levels, but they're still cool games, but it'd be cool if they added on to them. In the same retro style, though. If love of game that only, if a flaw was, it was toward in classic great otherwise. Okay, well, anyway. Ideas: not washing dishes until after few uses, so lesser dishwashing. Just if it's your own dishes, not for others though. Don't put with other dishes for everyone to be, unless washed thoroughly though. But if only for you, I uses it in cup, just reuse a plate, rinse off and use again. Yeah, if it's not super dirty, you can just rinse it off a tiny bit and then reuse it again, just if it's easier. Because I was getting overwhelmed with dishes before, so I was like, let's just make this simpler. Let's just not thoroughly clean every dish unless it really needs it and just rinse it off. If it doesn't need it much. Or ideas. And tests done if could prove to help develop the verbal side of mind writing with left hand, then wouldn't it be worth it to teach people to be both of it? And then would it people to be both left and right handed, so to be more balanced in personality, not so shy bad verbally, and or not excessively visual like are now is helps to be less so. Yeah, I was just wondering, like, experimentally, it'd be cool to take tests of people's minds when they're writing with their left hand and with their right hand, because I was thinking, well, I took a class in speech before, and it kind of taught me about how the left side of the mind means speech and the right side of the mind is a visual learning or something. And so I was just thinking, what if there was like some tests done to see if writing with the left hand would help people be better socially, better verbally, because that's the verbal side of the mind. Would writing with a different, because hardly anybody's left-handed, so I was just thinking if you could teach people to be left, and I was trying to teach myself to be left-handed just to see if it would help my verbal side of my mind get activated more, so I'd be better socially, because I realized I'm not very talkative sometimes. A lot of times when people talk to me, I don't really respond to a lot of things, and it's kind of like this mind block thing. I don't know it's not a good social skill, and so I was wondering if that would I don't know if it would activate. Maybe just exercise would help too, but different, anything that's stimulating, might help, but, like, I was just thinking, trying to, well, anyway, I guess I said it. Okay. Ideas. If laws is if food essential stores only open on Sabbath and only especially or if not during church hours, to respect people's right and freedom of religion to go to church. Clearly, because I don't even know if I recommend even food stores being open on Sabbath on Sunday, really, because the Bible really says your business or your place of living, your whole place will be to ruins and be cursed and everything if you don't keep the Sabbath. So I don't know, but if people absolutely have to be stubborn and they don't want to keep the Sabbath, they could at least respect other people's right to keep the Sabbath by only having their store hours not being the church hours, like maybe opening at 11 instead of 10 or 9 on Sundays at least, just so people's freedom to religion is respected. I think that's important, because people don't even have freedom of religion in a way, because their jobs always demand them and force them to work on Sunday. Unless they're flexible with their hours, and you could request different hours, that's different, but if they're not flexible, they should be. You should always be flexible to give people respect with their religion, because they should have freedom. Okay, or you could close the store early, like say before 5 or 6 or whatever, because also there's church services at 5 or 6. just on Sunday, just to respect people's right for religion if you're a business. I think those are ways you could also help, so you're not quite so disrespectful to people, because God just wants you to be respectful of people's right to religion, so to let at least them keep the Sabbath, even if you don't want to. So, and maybe only food stores, something really essential, open on Sabbath, not non-essential stores, because you should give yourself time to rest, and your workers time to rest, and they'll work better, and they won't take sick days as much, and they won't want to play hooky, and if you give them a reasonable amount of time off so they can rest, so they'll work better and everything. So, and it won't curse your business, because it won't bring you to ruins like the Bible says. It actually said that. I wonder what caused all these businesses to be abandoned and to look so cursed, and I was wondering, I wonder if they don't keep the Sabbath, because that's what the Bible said. And you wonder why some businesses don't do good and some do. Maybe that's the type of stuff matters. Maybe that's what causes it. So it's just good to remember if you're a business. These are good business success tips, really. They're based on wisdom of the Bible, so they're from a good, reputable source. So, Ideas Utopia. Degrees and careers should be gotten well before the junior and senior year for sure, because everyone, or at least half maybe, gets in sin situations, dates, and or has abortions mostly these years, probably, I would guess. So to prevent that sin, degrees, something free school years, and university for fun, extra degrees only. Yeah, maybe like the university years should only be optional, like for fun, because or the degrees gotten first and then the fun classes taken later after, because people are never having their degrees in time before their dating years come along and completely distract them, and then they really won't do good schoolwork. So I was thinking, maybe if you get your degrees figure out your career a little bit earlier, so you'll be actually ready to get married if you do want to get married early and young. Because people often are wanting to get married, but they're going off to college, or they want to date somebody, but they're going off to college, and it totally messes up all these relationships. And so I was thinking, how could you prevent that? I was thinking maybe you could get your degree or career a little bit earlier in junior high or something, or right before the dating years really come into full swing and really completely distract people, so they're really bad at their schoolwork. And then maybe the fun classes taken a little bit later in the high school and college years. The fun classes, the sport classes, the whatever. But the degree classes, the career classes, may be taken first. First priority first. Because then you'll have your career all set and be ready to go if you find a spouse in your college or high school years, That's what I was thinking. It would be really important and helpful. But okay, health ideas tip. Use bow for non-touchless bathroom. Oh yeah. There should be more of those touchless bath faucets, like in public restrooms. They should always have those in public restrooms, especially the touchless bath faucets. You just put your hand under it and it turns on. Those are really great because those are really sanitary. They should always have those in people's houses too. I hate touching the dirty bathroom faucet. I just get a piece of the toilet paper and I'm touching with this, and I'm touching the door with it. I'm not touching that at all. Or also you could with your elbow, or I don't know, anything, just so you won't touch it. I don't know. Ideas. I just love some of these, these inventions, and they should just have them more, is all I'm saying. They should have them everywhere. Because why keep it the bad way if there's the progressively better ideas out there already? Ideas. Cooking liquor first, if helps, make safer, because expanding yeast seems to expand and maybe almost dangerously pop stomachs look like if beer bellies are indicating this. I'm just guessing. I don't really know. I was just like, because some people look really unhealthy, and I don't know if that's what caused it or not, and or maybe too much carbonation. I was just wondering what causes some forms of obesity, like the really fat stomach. Like, I was like, I wonder if it's too much carbonation or too much liquor, or I don't know what. Because some things slow down the metabolism. Too much sugar too does, and or discontinued putting yeast or whatever, obesity causing for the health, and making like with different healthier stuff like old days they used to make liquor drinks with mandrake or exotic different alternatives or if healthier stimulants. Yeah, I was just wondering if they can make the stimulants healthier, like, I just see all these unhealthy looking people and I'm like, I wonder like if they could just make liquors or junk food healthier or whatever. It would be nice. I don't know if it's the yeast in the drinks that causes it. I don't know. Like, maybe if you could just take that out, if that would make it healthier and not cause these beer bellies and all that. Or if, if you cook it first, if it would make it safer. I don't know. Well, that was just my ideas. Okay, ideas. For loans, credit companies that if you are non-Christian, you are charged interest to make up for it, because according to Bible, no interest should be to God's people. But he might have just meant all people though, so I don't know if this is applicable though. And question to see which clients are. Okay, idea for video game ship to shoot from back and sides and front for change and something change perspective to where camera faces to side, then front, then back for fun variety. Oh, I don't know. Oh, for video game ship to shoot from back. I don't understand what this is saying. I think I might have written this wrong. I might have meant for video cameras, to be able to shoot a lot of different directions by themselves, like, to make music videos, a music video camera, where it would shoot a lot of different perspectives, like music videos are, and to make it slow, parts of it slow and parts of it fast, and parts of it just regular and parts of it where it goes forward and backward, and, I don't know if that's what this was saying or not. I think I wrote it down wrong. Okay, whoops. Okay, let's see. See, that's why it kind of translated after I read it and then I translate it, to help specify what I'm saying. Idea, childhood nostalgia store, old toys to as like board games, board games, video games, and decor of cartoons for different eras, 80s sections mostly, and or okay. Idea, language school that has plays where act out situations you can write, type, sound something, go through, or choose from and translate it as go along, and practice using words by prompt and or pre-memorization. Yeah, like kind of like a theater for learning languages. Like you could act out plays or different social situations, or you could just say whatever you want. You could pre-think some stuff you want to talk about, and then you could look up the translation of how to say it, and then memorize it, and you just were a place where you practice socializing in different languages. A language school like that could do that. Or you could just add this to the social center. Like I was thinking of doing a social center, like where people can meet each other and stuff. And you could have stuff like this in it too, like a language learning room. You could just interact, but you could practice saying different languages, saying things in different languages. Idea. People can have pomegranate juice more because I heard it's one of strongest antioxidants and kinds, isn't it? And the kind that isn't too sweet, sparkling, not tart. Like the Izzy kind is really good. Although too much carbonation may cause like bloating or whatever, kind of. But well, the main point I was trying to say is y'all can have more pomegranate juice because it's really healthy. Because like I was just drinking different I was drinking pomegranate juice, and it seemed like it cleared up my really bad cough that lasts. It just lasts forever. My cough, I always have a cough and a cold sort of, but whenever I drink pomegranate juice, it seems like it completely gets rid of it just temporarily, but it gets rid of it for a while, and it's really amazing. Like, it really is a strong antioxidant. If something can partly get rid of my cold, even for a while. Because my cold is like, I don't know, I'm probably allergic to, like, eating too much sugar, or allergic to pets or something that I'm not going to be, or I'm allergic to dust because I live in this desert, so I'm never going to be able to change some of that entirely unless I move or something. But for now, I might always have this cold whenever, or I have whatever the situation that's causing it. But yeah, some things are really good, so I recommend them for others too. It's like a health tip. Okay, more or product ideas. An extra mini sink and kitchen for dirty, if non-dishes, dirty if non-dishes stuff like pet bowls cleaning and or clean other miscellaneous, cause to keep less sanitary washing out of and separate away from dishes. Like if you clean dog poop off your shoes or something, I mean, you really don't want that in your regular sink. It'd be nice if there was a less sanitary stuff part of the sink you could wash, an extra little sink you could wash really dirty stuff in that you don't want to land on the sink dishes. Well, anyway. Don't I get really, explicit in my... or not explicit. I don't know what you call it. Like, a little bit too much information, right? I'm sorry. It's pretty funny. It's like almost... Well, it's like I got to explain here. Okay. Let's see. Utopia. Half the time only allow people to work and have businesses open, and other half time for leisure, social club, and family, and happiness, and etc. Sleep, relaxing. Yeah, you gotta make some time for happiness. No, but that would be cool if society was set up more like a utopia type of, like, if I were to build a utopia, like a alternative living resort or a health resort or a, I would make it like this, like where you're only working half the time and the other half of the time you have time for family and friends. You could go to a social club and meet people or hang out with your family and friends and do relaxing or do hobbies or do whatever. Oh, my booty bear, she came to visit us. We said, I came to give you kisses, sister. Hi, sisters. What a good little... See, when this one comes, the other one comes. It's so funny. I see, you caught it on film. I caught it on film. You heard it here first. Anyway, isn't it cute how they do that? The big dog gets jealous of the little baby dog. They're both like Daisy Jr. and Big Daisy, Bootsy Bear and Pluky Bear. They have all these different names like princesses. They have like 4 names. Ideas. Not wearing deodorant unless can't suds underarm daily, like to point of smelling bad, time for bacteria, because natural pheromones may attract bonding. Okay, this is the worst idea I've ever had. Okay, I don't recommend anyone do that. Okay. I was just saying if you don't need deodorant sometimes. But a lot of us really do, so I don't know why I thought this was a good idea. I just thought like you could just let your natural pheromones not be masked and attract a mate easier that way, but I don't think that would work. I think that would be so unpleasant, maybe. Like, unless you really clean your stuff really often, like every day, suds under your arms and everything, I don't think that would work very good. Like, that's only a good idea if you always washing under your arms and stuff, so that it's not too much bacteria and stuff to smell bad. And the pheromones probably find a way to still shine through, even through good smelling deodorant. So I don't know. That's the worst idea ever. I'm very sorry. Idea for children to be like, okay, I can't read some of this. Let's see. I'm trying to. Hi, Boots! This is the Bootsy break, and we're now having a Bootsy break. Bootsy Bear, I love you, sisters. I love you. You're such a good girl. Okay, we gotta do a video, sister. Thank you for being nice to me. But we gotta do a video here. Okay, let's see. Yeah, see the big dog's like, hey, what are you doing? I want to do. Ideas. So, lights. Some. I can't read some of these. Okay, I'm sorry, I can't read some of these. I'll have to come back to them. See, I have to organize these more sometimes. Sometimes I rewrite them and I make them more organized. Okay, let's see. Ideas. Machines that are made to not stay on. Their lights, the something or red type ones, the blue or red type ones, to not stay on when turned off. Like modern TVs and computers do waste electricity, or maybe for devices to burn out, or because keeps radiating, etc. Radiation needlessly. Should be electronics are made to not generate radiation for public safety law. Also, there should be like public safety laws where electronics shouldn't be allowed to radiate too much radiation, because I think I'm even getting sick from all this radiation. Because I'm getting really sick from something, I don't know. It's probably a lot of different things though. But like, you know how we might be using our computers more and we're up close to them, and there's probably a lot of radiation sometimes, so I like to at least turn it completely off so there's no lights on it, so at least there's less radiation, there's not radiation, at least when it's off. I just don't like when they stay on and they're still radiating radiation even more than it already is. We're already using them too often probably, so like why have it even more than it has to be. Ideas. For women got reviews by their dates, so to warn others of serial date types or nice, etc. types. Sister! Hi, sister! Yeah, there should be like a date review site, like where you can review your date, and like, so you know when you date them kind of what to expect, what they're going to be like. Potentially somebody else can warn you if they're like if they come on too strong, or if they get involved too early and too fast, so you kind of know if you want to deal with that or not, because I don't know if everybody wants to deal with that, but maybe a lot of people are like that. But I don't think it's good to rush into relationships unless you get to know people. But I know it's not easy to do, but it's just, it seems like it always jinxes it and like makes people hate each other. So it'd be nice if people could just be friends first before they really date seriously. and not let the sin ruin it and cause hate, you know? Because that's be nicer if that, but that's like a perfect world type thing. But well, ideas. If someone made alternative to beer for alcohol and after alcohol liquors, like in olden days, and or new varieties of ingredients mixed with light amounts of alcohol, like healthy herbs, or for variety other spices, or etc. Because some things are so unhealthy, I think. Everybody's getting all brain damage and everything. It's sad they can't make healthier stimulants that aren't as unhealthy. There's all these statistics of all these people that died from all this stuff. Liquor and cigarettes. Ugh. I wish they make safer alternatives to both of those. Business idea. Amusement center with unique games like Mario Party games, except real areas to play. For example, like the game with blocks that can move up and down, and if stay on block and without touching water, or like activating or whatever. Well, I just thought this would be really fun. An amusement park inspired by video games. Like, I know there might be a couple that are kind of, but it'd be kind of different. It'd be having rides though. Like, you know that one, well, there's this one video game like where the character's riding on this little trike, this little Hot Wheels on the water. Maybe you could have a ride like that where you're riding on the water on a trike, or, I mean, you could just get inspired in a lot of different ways by video games. They have so many, as long as you can make the ride safe. You'd have to make it a safe version though. But you could get inspired by video games. So many ideas are in video games for rides, or for just fun activities, you know, you could do for like a theme park. Like obstacle courses and different things. I don't know. It'd be cool. Idea. Cameras that can record just audio clips by self and upload online, so can add separately to music video clips, putting together on software like something movie maker, like Windows Movie Maker, etc. Yeah, there should be really made something where to help you make music videos. There's so many bad software though. So much bad software out there. Like, it's just terrible reviews. It doesn't even work properly. So you spend $50 on it and it doesn't even work properly. It's like they all get 1 star. There should be just some free software that, you know, like Windows Movie Maker, you used to kind of be able to make music videos, but the audio on it was just for narration, so it wasn't good audio. It wasn't very loud audio for making a music video, so that was the only problem. So there should be made, well, maybe there already is, but I mean, that would be nice. If there was also marketed some kind of device where you could just record and then upload your songs and your videos and add clips together and make a music video making machine that records, and it helps you put your visual music video clips together, and has features where you could add special effects, all the different special effects to it, where you can make it up close, you can make it far away, you can make it slow and fast, you know, all the cool music video. Well, anyway, there should be a little device, a little, like, some sort of like instrumental device you could use. A really simple, user-friendly one, preferably. You just plug it in and upload after you record on it. That's what I wish there was. Because I researched all the different music-making machines, and you'd have to plug in like this to the mixer, to the preamp, to the this, to the electric guitar, to the, and then you have to do the microphone, and then you have to add this and that, and it's so complicated, and I'm like, what? Why don't they just have, they really should be made one device, you could just do everything on it, and not software, because software never works. They can't make software work for some reason, so it has to be some sort of different device, like a physical device that can just do everything. That would be really cool, right? There should be that. So should make it, please, if you want. That's a good idea, some company you could have. You have my blessing, because I would like to buy that. Idea. Stores and dog collars with chain something attached.